Hey guys, what's going on? So today we have the next part of my CD collection, and first of all, you notice I look very different right now. I have my hair tied back, because why not? I thought my hair looked kind of bad today, and I figured maybe why not give it a try. And I kind of like the way it looks. I might do this every so often. Not every day. Obviously I'm going to still have my hair down like usual for the most part, but I don't know. And I put my hat on backwards over it because it looks pretty good in my opinion. I don't know. I like the way it looks. I don't give a fuck if anybody thinks it looks bad. But anyways, we got a lot of diverse selection of shit to show off for this video, so yeah. And also in the background we're playing some Bolt Thrower, so yeah. So anyways, first up we have all my Lamb of God CDs. I don't listen to them in a long ass time, but I've seen them live twice and they kick ass live. So they're very nostalgic for me because they definitely helped me get into more extreme metal. Like they helped me get into more like harsher, more not quite guttural, but you know, just harsher vocals and metal, like the kind of shit, like death metal vocals and stuff. So yeah, so they're very nostalgic for me, even though they're not the best band ever. A lot of their stuff is kind of mediocre, but I think their early stuff still holds up and is still pretty good. So first up, we have their album before they were called Lamb of God, Burn the Priest. It's a self-titled album, and it's actually pretty good. It's like a very groovy, like death grind album, in my opinion. It's a pretty cool shit, honestly. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's kind of unique sounding. It doesn't sound like the other Lamb of God stuff, so if you don't like Lamb of God, this is worth giving a try. It's not the most memorable thing ever, but it's pretty cool. And also, this is the censor version, but I put the booklet has it. Like, find it. There's also some neat artwork in the booklet. Also, that looks very new metal. I don't know why, but it originally had this in the front, but I flipped it around so that it has. This is the actual album cover. So I put that there, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, pretty cool album. The best songs here are Bloodletting, Demera, and Resurrection number 9. I believe it's either Demera or Resurrection number 9 has like a really groovy, like sludge metal kind of breakdown in it, which I really like. But yeah, Burn the Priest, self-titled, or the first Lamb of God album. Next up we have their first album when they were called Lamb of God, New American Gospel. This is probably my favorite release from them, and it's honestly still pretty good. It's very raw for Lamb of God. There's still a lot of extreme metal, like death metal and grindcore influence on this album, which is probably why it's my favorite. And this album actually has the first song with a blast beat that I ever heard, which is a warning. Oh, there's some really good songs on here, like In the Absence of the Sacred has a really good breakdown at the end of it. Larry's Was Born, The Black Dahlia, Terror and Hubris in the House of Frank Power has some really good vocals from Randy Blythe. Subtle Arts of Murder and Persuasion. This is just actually a really good album. I can understand why you wouldn't like this one if you don't like Lamb of God, but I still like it because it's very nostalgic for me. So yeah, Lamb of God, New American Gospel. Next up, their last album before they started getting more overproduced, As the Palace is Burned. Shitty remaster, but I prefer the original mix, but this is still a pretty good album. It's definitely one of their better albums. Best songs on here are like Ruin and the title track, and probably Vigil, and maybe like Boot Scraper or Blood Junkie, but it's pretty good. It's a little more melodic than the last two albums. There's a little bit less death metal influence and grindcore influence. It's more straight up like groove metal, but it's definitely more extreme than their later stuff. There's less metalcore influence. Pretty good though. Alright, next now we start to get into the more overproduced Lamb of God stuff. First up, Ashes of the Wake. This is a very popular album from them. It's probably their most popular. It has the most popular song, Way to Rest, which I still think is a kick-ass song. And there's some really good songs on here like that one, or Now You've Got Something to Die For, or Hourglass. So they're the most popular songs, and really good songs, just overproduced, honestly. It's really clean, and it sounds very machine-like, and not in a good way. But it's still a good album, it's just not perfect. I don't know. Yeah, after this, have Wrath. Not Wrath. It's the name of the album. The album after this, I can't remember what it's called. I have that one on vinyl, and I'm not crazy about that one, but it's still pretty good. Wrath and Resolution are okay. And then the album after Resolution, Sturm und Drang, is actually their best album after As the Palace is Burned, in my opinion. This one's really nostalgic for me. I listened to this a lot in like 8th grade. This is the first CD I ever bought from Lamb of God, and the song 512 is amazing. I still love that song, and it sounds awesome live, especially the chorus. But yeah, so that's all I got from Lamb of God. I'm not crazy about them like I used to be. I still think they're pretty good though. So now we've got all my Led Zeppelin stuff. Weird transition, I know, but I only have one of their studio albums. The rest of the stuff is like one's a compilation, the other one's a live album. So first up, we have their self-titled debut, classic album and music in general, honestly. It's great. Classic rock or hard rock, whatever the fuck you want to call it, album. Best songs on here are Good Times, Bad Times, Communication Breakdown, Days of Confused, and How Many More Times is probably my favorite, but yeah. I'm sure you all know this. Next up, we got something from Led Zeppelin that's a little rare. This used to be my dad's, and he just gave it to me when I was in like 3rd grade, and they're like the only band I listened to back then, so yeah. But this is remasters. It's just a greatest hits. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got all the classics and shit that you should all know that are really overplayed, but still pretty good songs. 2 discs, and then the 3rd one is like interviews and shit. There's a jewel case version of this, I believe, and that's the album cover for that. But this is pretty cool, to be honest. I usually have it standing up back there. So yeah, Led Zeppelin remasters. Very nostalgic piece of my collection. Last thing we got from Led Zeppelin is the Celebration Day live album. I never listen to this, but it's a good performance. And it comes with a DVD of the live performance as well. It's like 4 discs. 2 discs for the live album. 2 discs for the live album, and then 1 disc for the DVD, and then another disc. Like a bonus DVD. I've never even watched the bonus DVD, but the actual DVD is pretty good. And honestly, Jason Bonham on drums, I think he's almost as good, if not as good, as his dad, to be honest. I might get some shit for that, and that sounds like blasphemy, but hey, it's just my opinion. I think he's a pretty fucking good drummer. But this is a pretty good live performance. I just don't listen to that much because I'd rather listen to their actual studio albums. Because I'm not crazy about live albums, at least the ones where like the audience is super loud. Like I love albums like Mayhem's Live in Leipzig, for example, where you can hardly hear the audience, or like some of Black Flag's live albums. But like stuff like this, I'm not crazy about because like the audience is super loud and it just, I don't know, it's just annoying to me. Anyways, last CD we have is the only thing I have from Leviathan. So weird transition from like hard rock to like fucking black metal, but Leviathan, 10th Sublevel Suicide. I fucking love this album. It's one of my all-time favorite black metal albums. It kicks ass. If you're new to Leviathan, this is definitely the place to start. It's just a classic. You could call it a DSBM album if you wanted to, but there's way more to it than that. It's not just sad for the sake of sounding sad. It's like some parts are sad, but it's still very heavy. Like, in my opinion, the heaviness of Leviathan, especially on albums like Tentacles of Horror, which is probably my second favorite, could like compete with like war metal and shit. It's pretty fucking abrasive. But there's still some parts that are more melodic and more melancholic sounding, like the piano part in Sardona Scorn, or I don't know. My Molten Armor has this one riff that sounds really fucked up and creepy, and this is just a creepy album, but it's so fucking good. Rest's vocals just make you feel uncomfortable. Like, its guitar riffs are amazing, and it's repetitive in some parts, but it's not like something like Zaster or Burzum where it's just like 4 or 5 riffs in like a 10-15 minute song. Like, most of the songs on here are about 8 minutes, but they don't really get repetitive to the point where it's boring, in my opinion. And that's one of the things I really like about Leviathan, is that the songwriting is actually pretty good. But I eventually want to have all of his studio albums. I need to get Tentacles of Horror and some of the album. Well, it's a compilation, but it's still one of his best releases. Hell Mockery at the Cross, and then the rest of his albums. But yeah, 10th Sublevel Suicide. Awesome album. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. It takes a lot of listening in order to get used to this album. But it's definitely a very good album. If you're new to black metal, stay the fuck away from this, because this won't get you into black metal at all, because it's hard to get into. But yeah, Leviathan, 10th Sublevel Suicide. I fucking love this album. One of my favorite black metal albums. That's all I got for this video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Bye.